let's talk about BYU defense. And let's let you hear from a guy that I think is going to be your starting free safety this fall. You heard me right. Tanner Wall is going to be BYU starting free safety. I know there's a lot of guys out there in that safety room that you're probably thinking, well, what about Raider DeMooney? What about Crew Wagley? What about Ethan Slade? What about Talon Alfrey? Folks, Tanner Wall has been balling out all training camp long. And he always, trust me, you can read any of the previews. He gets just kind of cast aside as, okay, that's cute, but he's going to be your starting free safety against Southern Illinois. And if he stays healthy, he'll probably be the starting free safety all season long based on everything that he's done in training camp so far. Every time I'm out there at practice watching, he makes a play or two that make you kind of turn your head. And people I have talked to inside the program think that he is absolutely just an underrated key cog in what BYU hopes to do on defense this year. Well, who is Tanner Wall? What does he hope to accomplish in a BYU uniform as BYU's, in theory, starting free safety this fall? And ultimately, what is a free safety versus a strong safety in the BYU defense? Well, he explains all that and a whole lot more right now, right here on Locked On Cougars.
A lot of people call these the quote-unquote dog days of training camp.
Right.
How do you get through all this?
I think for us, the biggest thing is just focusing on loving the game and loving our teammates. I think our level of brotherhood and camaraderie is still elevating every single day. And I think, it's a huge focus for us this week. And as we approach, the game is just being united as a brotherhood, loving each other, keeping each other healthy in the way we practice, right? That's a huge thing. Sometimes when guys get, tired or their bodies are banged up, they start to play with bad technique, or they start to not pay attention to all the details, and that's when guys get hurt. So we're still focusing on all the little things and keeping everyone healthy and safe and playing with a lot of love. So
how about practicing as a team? What all does that, how does that come about? Is that just a culture thing? Like, how does that come about in practice?
Absolutely. I think it starts a lot with just our communication and playing with a lot of football IQ. Obviously on the back end amongst the DBs, we know that the more we talk, the more we communicate out there, the better we play. And as we tie in the backers and the front into that too, we're able to just really play much more as a unit. And so that communication for us is key, and that really comes from just watching a lot of film, football IQ, understanding what we're seeing and how to react.
Now, this is a safety unit that's really deep, just with all the experience you guys got last year because of the injuries.
Absolutely.
We've heard Jay call it a battle royale for playing time.
Yeah.
What's your assessment of how things are going so far on that back end?
Yeah, I think, there's a lot of guys in our room who want to play, right? We got a lot of guys, and just being in such close proximity to Jay, he expects greatness and excellence from us, and that makes us that much better as well. And so really all of us are fighting for that spot, right? We all want to play and help this team win. But at the end of the day, it's going to come down to the guys who make plays, the guys who do the little things right. Coach Hill focuses a ton on, one thing we talk about a lot in practice is building good habits of bursting to the ball. Whether you're the farthest guy from it or you're the closest guy, you got to burst to the ball, right? And so he's told us a number of times, the guys who end up on the field are the ones who do that right all the time. They have that constant habit of always running to the ball, bursting, and playing with that juice and energy. So
now, if I may be so bold, you may be one of the lesser known guys in that unit because you're a walk-on with this program. He's kind of worked his way up the pecking order. You started as a wide receiver here, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
What does it mean to you to now be in the rotation, challenging for a starting job?
It's exciting. I coming off an injury last season, right when I felt that I had gotten to, a place where I was feeling really comfortable with the game. It was slowing down for me. That was tough, but, obviously coming back off that injury, spent a lot of time this winter with my teammates, watching tons of film, just learning, mastering technique, and so the game has slowed down even more for me. So it means a lot to be one of those guys who, can compete for that job. And that's what I love about Jay is he tells us every day, nothing's ever just given, right? You have to consistently prove yourself and earn that spot. So I love that about how we battle in that room, and everyone has to show up every day.
It's all on merit, right? It's all about
Absolutely.
how you play on the field.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of playing alongside guys like Crew Wagley, or kind of playing that free safety spot, as well as Tommy Prassis with you, I want your assessment of those guys playing the same spot as you.
I think Tommy, as a young guy, has has shown really well for a guy who, graduated high school early. He came out, he learned the defense really fast, made some good plays in spring ball, right? And is a guy who has high football IQ and really cares about the game and does all the little things right. Crew's actually playing more of the strong safety, but he's looked really good. He's had a great camp. He had a great practice today, had another pick today. So Crew's a playmaker. He's always around the ball. And so, I would expect him to be a guy who we see on the field a lot this year as well.
Okay, I'm going to have you explain to my listeners the difference between the free safety and the strong safety in this defense, because a lot of people hear safety, they think the same thing.
Right.
They're very different in this defense. Though.
Yeah. So in our defense, we play a lot of one high. So free safety is more the guy playing in the post. Doesn't have a ton of man coverage responsibilities. Right. We're kind of free flow, weaving off the quarterback, and strong safety plays close to the line of scrimmage typically. Has more coverage responsibilities on tight ends, and will be in the box in packages, but that's kind of the distinction.
Okay, but as a free safety in this defense, being one high, you're the last line of defense quite literally in certain circumstances.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, there's some tackles you got to make as a free safety where it doesn't matter how pretty it is, you just got to get them down and play the next down. So,
what are you looking forward to most about this upcoming season?
I'm just looking forward to putting this finished product on the field with my brothers. This brotherhood is evolved a lot this offseason. We had a pretty unique offseason just in how we handled things with our strength staff. And I think our culture has really evolved in a way that will help us perform very well. And so I'm just really excited to be in front of 65,000 people in Lavelle and, just play with that level of love for each other and for our fans and for our families, and go win a lot of football games, which I'm confident that we will do.
I was going to also ask you, in terms of expectations, obviously they're pretty low in terms of the preseason polls. Do you guys pay attention to any of that?
No, we don't really care. Obviously, for some guys, it can be motivating to know that, everyone looks down on us, doesn't expect much of us, but, I'd rather be an underdog in every game than get complacent and think that we're going to come in and just roll anyone. So we'll play hungry and stay humble throughout every game we get to play this season, whether it's 13, 14, 15 games.
Now, I know that you play on the opposite side of the football, but what's it been like to watch a quarterback battle unfold from your vantage point?
I think it's cool to see. Gerry and Jake, they both have different personalities and kind of almost different playing styles too, but just the level of competition between them, I think, is helping both of them elevate their game. Each day it might be like, okay, a guy pulls ahead, and then the next day a guy will make up ground. So I think it's kind of an iron sharpens iron kind of situation where they're battling for that spot, and it's making both of them better. So I look forward to seeing who it is.
A big thank you to Tanner Wall for joining us here on the podcast. I'm telling you, get to know that name. I got a soft spot for Tanner. Funny enough, some of you may know my background in sports media. I worked for Scout/247 Sports way back kind of in the early days of me covering the BYU beat, working with Total Blue Sports at the time. And Tanner was a guy that we actually brought on as like a student correspondent when he was a high schooler out in the Virginia area. And I've known about him for a long time. It's absolutely incredible to see him where he's at today. And I'm telling you, get to know the name Tanner Wall and get to know the number 28, because as he mentions, he plays that last line of defense. That's truly what that free safety role is in this defense. There are times guys are going to get beat. They're going to get burned. And it happens. But as he mentions, you got to go just get the guy down. Doesn't matter how pretty it is. You got to go get that guy and tackle him and live to play another down, as they say in football. But big thank you to Tanner for taking the time to join us here on the podcast. Always enjoy talking with him. And I'm telling you, get ready. He's going to be your free safety, at least for the early part of the season. I would expect it continues all season long, barring him getting injured. I really think he has got a breakout season inside of him coming up.